Uncletale proudly presents the tree that waited in a quiet, faraway forest. A gust of wind carried a tiny seed far from where it began. It landed on dry, cracked soil, hard and lifeless. No living things were nearby. There was no water, no shade. The seed lay still, buried deep underground. Days passed, weeks. It began to wonder if this was where it would remain forever, buried and forgotten. But even in loneliness, the seed chose to stay. It refused to give up, though no one could see it and no promise was made. Seasons changed. One day, dark clouds gathered and rain finally fell. The droplets seeped deep into the ground, soaking the thirsty soil and touched the seed for the first time. The seed felt moisture and warmth. Something inside stirred. The shell cracked open, and a tiny sprout pushed upward through the heavy earth. When it reached the surface, it saw sunlight for the very first time. The sky was Vostad, blue. The sprout had no one to talk to, but the light gave it silent hope. Soon after, a fierce storm arose. Strong winds howled, rain poured down like arrows. The fragile sprout bent under the force and nearly broke. Fear crept in. The sprout thought it might not survive, but deep underground, its roots had begun to hold fast. Just a little longer, it whispered to itself. The wind roared all night. But when the morning came, the storm had passed, and the little tree was still standing, bruised, but stronger than before. Years went by. The small sprout grew into a young tree. Slowly, patiently, no one noticed it. No applause, no praise, just sunshine, rain, and long quiet nights. Sometimes a bird would land on its branch. Sometimes the wind would rustle its leaves. It wasn't grown in a garden. No, watered it with care, but it stood tall, quietly taking in life. Its strength came not from attention, but from persistence. One day, the tree had grown tall and wide. Its branches spread out, creating shade. Animals began to rest beneath it. Birds, squirrels, deer, even insects. A traveler once passed through the forest, lost and tired. He sat beneath the tree and found fruit lying nearby. It gave him the strength to continue. The tree said nothing. It didn't ask for thanks. It just stood, silently offering what it had: shade, fruit, and comfort. Years later, a young boy came walking with his grandfather. They stopped under the tree. The boy looked up at its towering branches and said, "Grandpa, this tree is huge. I want to be like that one day." His grandfather smiled and replied, "It was once a tiny seed, just like you. It didn't grow in a day, but it never stopped growing." The tree smiled quietly inside. It wasn't just a tree anymore. It had become an inspiration.